There I was, a full couch potato, the television slowly nuking my brain, when the telephone rang. It was my father. I pondered, do I take this call or continue watching The Real Housewives of Antarctica? I looked at my phone and my father's smiling image looked back at me. I pressed the ignore button. Contest master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, raise your hand if right now you have a cell phone. Some of you I can tell already. You're looking at it right now. Put it down, David. Don't ignore me. How is it that we can have phones on us at all times and feel less connected? Shouldn't we be talking more, not less? Yet one button on this phone makes it so simple to disconnect. On some phones it says ignore, on other phones it says decline. Either way, a simple press or swish or click, and a call is whisked off to voicemail. But it's not just a call we're ignoring. On the other end of the line is another human being. I'm old enough to remember when every phone was connected to a line in the house. In those days, when a call came in, it bore all the mystery of a gift wrap box. Sometimes you'd open the box and it'd be a best friend or a love interest, the perfect present. Sometimes you'd open that box and it'd be that annoying relative. You know who I'm talking about. A little like receiving an itchy sweater that you really want to get rid of, but your mom makes you keep. Or most annoyingly, inside the box could be the sales call. Wow, in this box, there's a free cruise. As long as you're willing to sit through a 1 hour, no pressure informational presentation, dumping that box right in the trash. The point is, you never knew what you'd get, but you'd always open the box. Then came caller ID. Now we could see who was calling us. And if we didn't want to talk to them, we could let the answering machine get it. Hello, Jeremy is screening your call right now. If you leave a message explaining why he should pick up next time you call, that would be lovely. Finally, that simple button. We don't even need to wait for the machine anymore. Recently, ignoring someone in that way cost me something pretty special. My buddy Dave and I became best friends quickly after we met at college. He went out to California after graduation. We stayed in touch with text messages, chatting online, and occasional phone calls. Last year, he called me 3 times in the span of a month. Every time, I was too busy to talk. Or perhaps just didn't feel like having another 30-minute conversation about Star Wars. It turned out he proposed to his longtime girlfriend, and if I'd have picked up just once, I'd have been his best man. Instead, he chose someone else who didn't decline his attention. Imagine that, a toastmaster who didn't get to toast his best friend at his wedding. You'd think after losing out on an opportunity like that, I'd learned my lesson. Yet to recapitulate, there I was, declining my father. My dad is a superstar, considered one of the top insurance agents in the industry, He's accounted for tens of millions of insurance premiums over the years. To achieve greatly, some successful people will sacrifice family time. Not my dad. My dad taught me how to shoot and was at every single one of my basketball games. My father was home nearly every night for dinner, even if he had to go back to work afterwards. When I came home from college, he had a position in the business waiting for me. And I love it. I love working with my dad every day. But he calls me sometimes, after hours or on the weekends, to talk about work. When that conversation peters out, then he starts chewing my ear off about the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers. I've heard all those stories 1,000 times before, Dad. Ignore. To the man who was always there for me, I decline the man whose business literally pays my phone bill. That day, he was calling to tell me he had prostate cancer. I found out eventually when I listened to his voicemail. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please don't ignore me. What is the decline button costing you? What moments are you missing with each swish? Are you taking someone for granted? Are you missing out on life opportunities? Ignoring a loved one who needs you? Next time you get a chance to decline or ignore, what will you do? Hi, Dad.